In order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, certain COVID measures were put in place, such as social distancing and interacting only with close relatives or housemates. Suddenly, practices of shaking hands, touching, and kissing, which are associated with intimacy, became dangerous and a potential source of infection. Global safety campaigns regarding this matter advised against so-called unsafe COVID sex, and instead, governments recommended finding pleasure in other ways while #staying at home. The pandemic raises new questions about how we engage with one another, with sex becoming a sensitive topic once again. So how has this affected people's acts of intimacy? And what constitutes intimacy as such? What role does social responsibility play, and which non-physical alternatives are popular? Also, how will future understandings of sexual relations be impacted? To further investigate this, we have collected 200 survey responses and conducted various interviews.
This is Hannah reporting from the University of Amsterdam. As we have seen over the past year, COVID has had a major impact on people's lives. Today, our reporting team is here to crack the code on whether it has impacted the intercourse behavior of individuals. As many articles have stated, COVID has affected the sexual behavior, and we are going to put that to the test by going around Amsterdam and interviewing people on their personal experiences. Now to you, Jordi.
Thank you, Anna. So, we are in Vondel Park right now, which is ironically one of the few places where it is legal to have sex in public. So, we thought this would be the ideal place to go ask some strangers about their sex lives. Let's go.
For me, I've been in a relationship the whole time, so it hasn't changed.
For me, also really hasn't changed too much. Wasn't too active before, not too active right now. More focusing on my career right now.
I would say that it has increased because I've got a boyfriend now. Increased. Yeah, I guess increased.
Alright, so we understand that this is a sensitive topic. Very few people actually wanted to be participants in our interviews. So instead, we switched locations to a borough where we found our fellow anthropologists, who are surely more willing to answer our questions about their sex lives. Let's give this another shot.
Well, I think we see each other a lot more because of Corona, because like it's also me. We have like we didn't really work that much. I didn't work that much, so we had each other a lot more. So more sex.
The most important thing is I got a relationship with you because of Corona, so yeah, I have a lot more sex.
Yeah, I mean, like before I was in a relationship, so it's like. Yeah, sometimes, but like now I'm in relationships and it's more. Yeah, right?
Well, more because I got a boyfriend. So more. More. It's very hard for me to answer because I had a relationship for the entirety of COVID until about 2 months ago. And I feel like my sex life has changed a little bit. I'm having a little bit less sex. And before it was with a relationship with, now it's just a casual hookup. I feel like it's honestly quite similar because I was also in a relationship before the pandemic. I think it's quite similar.
Alright.
These responses are similar to those gathered from the survey, in which 36% claim that there has been no alteration in their sexual activity, whereas 72 participants believe it has become more, and 56 people say that they have less sex now.
I do have Tinder, but I kind of just use it casually.
Alright.
Just to talk to people.
Not really, but that wasn't really my thing either. So I think even if I would not have a boyfriend, I think I would have to be very desperate to try that out because it's not really for me.
Alright, something like that. No?
Well, I know my boyfriend from Tinder, so yes, I've used it, but after I met him, I didn't use it anymore. More.
Alright.
No, I don't use apps. I don't really feel the need for these apps. Because if I want to get laid, I can find it somewhere. Really need that.
You don't feel the need for the apps. You just
No,
want to
but
find someone in person.
Exactly, because I feel like you get to know the person better, and I feel like the hookup is better when you know a little bit about the person.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think you really.
You don't want to see it through a screen.
No, exactly. But I respect the apps a lot. Like I feel like they're very good use for some people, but I just don't really feel see the need for them myself.
Right.
Our survey results show that the use of alternative forms of interaction, such as dating apps, has not increased during the pandemic. This is not surprising, as multiple studies state that the overall sex drive tends to decrease in times of crisis, where many struggle with depression and other forms of mental issues. In fact, many survey participants expressed that their decision to engage in sexual relations was influenced by their state of mental health. Nearly 33% claimed that their loneliness has strongly increased since the beginning of the pandemic. To lighten the mood and to thank each interviewee for their participation, we arranged for a special little reward.
There you go.
Albert Heijn.
Albert Heijn.
Classy.
I know. We do have a little incentive to go get some. Here
Thank
you go.
you.
You're welcome. Do have some rewards.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Well, we do have a little prize reward for answering the questions. One for you.
Oh, we don't need this, honey. We don't need it.
You have a spiral. Not necessary.
So, as a reward for doing the interview,
Yay!
here you go.
Am I gonna get a condom?
You are getting a condom.
Oh, it's also all the time
It's the
hardware.
top shelf stuff.
Thank you very much. This is what I do it for.
Do I get a condom now too? You get a condom.
Thank you, Jordy. That was very informative. And thank you also to all the people who participated in our interviews. Many of the answers correlated with the results of the survey we conducted.
From an anthropological perspective, one could say that the pandemic challenges common understandings of how, with whom, and in which ways we share space. The idea of fixed sexual partners, or corona buddies, reinforces a norm about sexuality and sexual relationships. And despite being open-minded anthropologists, we had not realized until afterwards that by handing out condoms as a prize, we were in a way contributing to this heteronormative idea. Initially, our group set out to determine the ways in which a pandemic might affect people's sex lives. But what seems to have become more relevant throughout this research project is the controversy of the topic sex in itself.
Bye-bye.
Dating or hookup apps at all.
I do have Tinder, but I kind of just use it casually.
All right.
Just
Yeah, I guess
Increased. All right. Have you guys been using any hookup apps or Tinder or anything like that? No. COVID has had an effect on our sex lives.
All right, that's a very interesting question, and I feel like it's very hard for me to answer because I had a relationship for the entirety of COVID until about 2 months ago. Not to you, Jordy.
Just wrap the balloon. Thank you. That was the question we had. And,
That was all.
that was it.
Just want to know if I
Yes.
fuck around.
Yes, pretty much.
Yes, right, it's called anthropology.
What's your name?
I'm Jordy. Nice to meet you.
Jordy Roman, nice meeting you.